Prediction-wise, we're still on this first map. I was talking about how I personally think that Riot Gaming have an opportunity on their map pick Cash to maybe sneak a bit of a map in like they've done last week. Can you see a potential thing happen here? Like, what sort of scoreline do you think we can be expecting in this map pick so far?
1-1 could be possible for sure. And there's a few teams in this competition. We saw it with M&M last night, and Riot are another one that demonstrated it on the very first night that we watched, the first Tuesday. Where they can take maps off of teams where you might think, oh, they're a little bit outgunned here. So yeah, I can definitely see that happening. I can see a potential 1-1. So Cash's first map, is it?
Yeah, Cash is going to be the first map, and then take a wild guess at what the second map will be.
Oh, is it going to be Cobblestone?
It is just going to be that. It's going to be Cobblestone, and it is to the picks of Reason Gaming. And it is Riot Gaming's pick for Cash, and this is why I've got a lot of hope in them sneaking this map win in. But Cobblestone is going to be up next just after this one, and we'd never have guessed that we'd be seeing Cash and Cobblestone in the first two games of the first night, would we?
No surprises at all. Yeah, it just seems to be the way of things, and yeah, it would be nice to see one or two other maps going. And yeah, okay, we don't really want to watch a Dust 2. That can end up getting pretty dull. Same can be said for Inferno, I guess, where it is just a slog of waiting, looking for picks, that kind of thing. But, a bit of Train would be nice. I've always been a huge fan of Train for the last decade getting on for. I would really love to see that in the play, but by the same token, I understand why a lot of teams are fearful of it, because you'd look at it, even now it's been balanced a bit, but you're expecting a fairly strong CT showing, and if you haven't got your A setup right, then you're in some serious trouble. You're going to have a hellish time on CT side, so I can understand why the maps kind of go the way they are, but it kind of opens the door for someone that is good on the other maps that you don't see it often to step in and really put a team in a situation they don't want.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big thing. It's all about putting a team in a situation where they don't want it, they're uncomfortable, and they don't feel, ready to go to make it happen. But we're going to be live with a knife round now, and it's the same question that we discuss every single map, and this time we're not going to go there, because we know the answer. The answer is going to be, for Reason and Riot Gaming, the output of this knife round isn't going to have too much of a big effect. All it will come down to is which team will be starting off on their more favoured side, and a lot of the time now we're starting to see both T and CT being, the favoured sides for Cash. By the way, though, Reason, they're going to come victorious on that knife round, so it will be on them to make that decision on what side they want to be opting for here, as they did come victorious in that knife round, and whether they will be opting to stay on that CT side, or in fact swap to that T side. And, it definitely is worth touching on that we have seen a fair few people, opt to start on the T side instead now. It is one of the stronger sides on Cash. You can do a lot of work with it, but at the same time, CT, it's arguably one of the stronger sides on the map itself as well, so it's, very much a debated choice, suffice to say.
It is, yeah, so balanced, and it's interesting when you got maps to play, completely wide open. I guess that helps us when we see Cash a lot, is that you can see two completely different games get played on it. So, that's a real bonus, and again, momentum comes into it. The good thing about Counter-Strike being a game that revolves quite a lot around finances. I mean, I just played a matchmaking not too long ago on Dust 2, my favourite of maps, and on CT side we'd never really got anything going and ended up picking up 6 rounds, but it was constantly having to force and scrabble around, never really having any utility to play with, and that can happen to you, especially on CT side. So that's something that the teams have got to be wary of, and make sure that if they're going to win, they win big, don't lose too many weapons on their CT, and just keep their economy ticking.
Yeah, so economy certainly going to be a massive factor here, as we're certainly get nice and comfortable as we will be going live in this first map pick so far. And Reason going to be starting on the CT side, right, starting over on that T side, and things are about to get a little bit more serious as both of these teams get nice and comfortable and ready to play, as we are live in the first half of the first map of tonight, day 2 of the UK Masters Week 3, and it's going to be pretty exciting. The CT is actually opting to get themselves fairly towards the armor side, 4 armor buys and 1 kit on Weber, and for Riot Gaming on the other hand, they've opted for 3 sets of armor and 2 sets of utility, opting for the double smoke gun, 1 flash setup on Prezi and PG. It's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. Like Keita and Connor both find themselves frags respectively before Prezi comes straight in with a frag on towards Connor, the trade being extremely important there. And well, that's going to be the massive thing as this round does unfold, trading.
And Keita, we talked about him right at the start, and he's already straight in with a frag, but Reason tries to do the same thing, walks to get a little too aggressive, and Prezi is there to pick him up. Keita, again, might be able to do some damage. They might not be expecting him. Prezi's seen him. He must have called that. I mean, PG didn't even turn around. You can see that even without X-Ray. Baith is going to be in a bit of trouble towards the back side. 6 HP. He does get one frag, actually. Really nice work. He's going to get caught pretty quickly, you think. And this is a great effort from Baith. Just doing some damage as Weber is now in, ready to come in on the rotate if he wants to. And I think he's going to go for it into the storage. Got Prezi and PG both tagged down. Weber got plenty of bullets in his gun and 100 points of health. And one flash still to his name as well. One to the back of sight would do all the damage. And I think that might be the information that he could need. PG might be in strife if he steps out, and he does. But he manages to just tag Weber just a little bit up on top of red.
Yeah, he's getting himself nice up close and personal Weber though. Still, the HP is not quite there and he will be falling to the hands of PG, and that's actually Riot Gaming picking up the first pistol round, so already opening up the doors to potentially sneak in that map in that we, oh so dearly talked about at the start of this series.
Yeah, and Riot do end up picking this thing up first round, going into it and going to be upgrading. So got Prezi with the AK. Let's see if he can make any entry picks from range, maybe take out the mid player, because you would think they probably want to put 1 or 2 players into that mid and make sure that you don't let a gunned up terrorist side get full control of it. So you've got to be a little careful from that point. But we have got a force. We've got 3 Deagles, got a scout up and a CZ on the Reason Gaming side. So they're going to be trying to do what they can with those. And it's just going to make sure they do pick this one up, that they're going to force Riot Gaming back. But if Riot pick this one up, then it's going to dent the Reason economy, and they probably can't then put their buy together until the 4th round. You would think maybe the 5th, we shall see. But we're all speculating just a little too far ahead. Maybe as Baith is maybe thinking about the push, and he does go for it and takes down Snod. So that was crisp and wisely. Unlike a lot of players that you see, he gets his pick that he wants and then he drops back.
Yeah, the smart call coming from there, just not being too over-aggressive, cuts his losses, walks away with the first pick, and it's going to be good for him. There's now more frags coming in mid as Velox finds a frag on towards Reason, and now they're going to be looking to extend his push with Baith. He's bending his smoke as he comes around the corner and finds a beautiful 1D on towards the head of Velox there. Now the jump scout trying to come in there, but Keita unable to quite connect anything as he will fall to the hands of Shanked, and PG finds another as well, but Baith back at it again with the Deagles there as he finds himself another 1D.
Yeah, he does, and base 1Ds are already crisp during the very early stages. PG, though, gets the frag on Weber, leaving Baith to try and come in 2v1. Points of health. Now, the way he's shooting at the moment, you wouldn't put it past him to maybe pick these up. And he has picked up the 4th, chance for the 5k, doesn't get it. PG mops up, and Riot Gaming live to fight another day. Take a 2-0 lead, and let's have a look at what's happened to the money. Honestly, Baith's done well with the Deagle. He's got himself up to 3-2, so that's going to help. And maybe he can use that to get an AWP together for his team a little bit later on if they want it.
Yeah, that's certainly going to be the big thing so far, if they can get some AWP control up, and whether the AWPs will be a big factor in this game. But in this round, it doesn't really matter, as Reason Gaming, they're sat with some P250s, 1 HG grenade in hand, and that will be about it, as Riot Gaming, they storm ahead with those SMGs and rifle buy, which is fairly solid for them, but also the expected situation for them to be in, as we are in round 3, and Riot Gaming did take that pistol round and the follow-up round there, so no upset potential certainly kicking in for Reason just yet, but the next round certainly going to be the important factor for them as this one begins to play its way out.
And let's see, PG in a position to maybe make a kill on Keita. He wants to commit himself out the checkers. Maybe tempted. I mean, if Snods was to step through into mid and go into vents, that'd be a dangerous position. But then Keita could maybe do some damage now, especially with the distraction. He does step out, gets the 1 frag. Might have the chance for a second if he can get him from behind on Velox. It's actually Velox picking up the frag instead. Shanked taking down Keita in the meantime. So it is Riot Gaming with a 4-3 advantage as Reason tries to come in and rotate from behind. But Riot, they're not messing around. They know they've got site control, and they have taken full advantage of that. Snod's going to try and chase out, and does manage to grab Reason from inside Sunroom. Weber last man standing. Down he goes. We talk about Keita as being a standout player, but there have been some that have called for Weber to be one of the top players in the UK. How do you feel about that one, Flakes?
I think it's an interesting one. He's certainly got the experience and the quality of teams behind him, but at the same time, he's struggling a little bit, struggling to find his groove so far in this game, and you know what, well, it'll be interesting to see how he decides to play this one out. Maybe if he can get himself comfortable, he can start to find his groove, start to find some frags, and I would see him as some of the top player at times, but he's not the most consistent, and that's my worry so far. But Keita already finding his consistency as he finds himself too. Looking for a third as well. It looks like he won't be able to find it as Prezi fights back with a headshot on towards him with that Galil in hand. Of the push is going to be coming in towards Checkers now. The pressure is on for Baif as he is the only one stuck around that corner. He has to hold this one as he does find the first, looking for the second as well, but he's not going to be able to find it as PG is going to take him down. But Reason now, he's in position, Famous in hand, as he will be able to find those trades nice and quick and easily. As Prezi now left alone, 6 HP in hand, pushing up nice and close towards CT, finding the first, looking for the second, but he's in a bit of a sticky situation now. Pushed towards the back of Checkers, and he will have to peek wide, and Connor will be there ready and waiting to find that frag.
Yeah, he sure is, and they do pick it up. So, nice work from Keita early on, and then Baif did well to just play from there as well. If you're a solo player up close, then generally the position you'll find yourself in is that you can trade. You can get the one, they'll call where you are, they'll be able to use utility or swarm around you and pretty much make sure that you can't get anything else. But what he was able to do, despite only picking up that one kill, was putting enough of a distraction to allow the rotate to come in, and the end Reason managed to pick this one up. Snods now with the AWP is going to try and take the pick, and he's going to be taking on Reason in the mid. So the battle for mid control is on. Now we've got the AWP versus AWP battle going on. It's going to be an interesting one. We haven't seen Riot make a huge amount of use of that just yet, but I think as we start to get into the buys, they will want to try and get control of that mid if they can, because it gives them so many opportunities to work on these sites and extra angles. And Snods might have a play on Weber potentially in the mid. Gets flashed off, and nobody really wants to peek just yet. PG makes the opening frag.
Yeah, solid frag coming in there from PG. Baif, though, fights back as he finds an instant trade on towards the hand of PG, already removing him from the round. But now we're back with a 4v4 situation. Things getting a little bit tense for Riot Gaming now as they need to pick up that bomb and make a decision with only 50 seconds left on the clock. This is their time, their mark. They have to start moving towards the site now and start, being a little bit less indecisive and more, cumulative towards the decision that they're going to be making. It seems like we're going to be seeing an A hit now, as we do see Shank getting himself nice and comfy. Molotov's coming out, forcing Connor out of position, but little does he know, he's got his head crosshair right on the head of Velox, and he finds one, but Shank trades it straight back, and Weber now finds one as well. The trade frags are plenty right now, as Baif picks up another frag as well, and now it's just Snods in a 1v3 situation, AWP in hand. He has a lot of work to do here if he's going to be picking up this one, and he does spot the player, Weber, moving in towards MBK, but he's going to be peeking out wide, and the timing not going to be working out in his favour, as he will find himself falling to the hands of Weber's M4, and that is now another round on the board for Reason Gaming as they take it 2-3.
Yeah, it is, and first time Riot have gone back towards the A site really, apart from that first round when Reason maybe got a little too pushy. Keita was effective, but then they just went too far and got too aggressive, and then got themselves picked off. So I think Riot deciding, let's give it a try and see how we get on. Much more solid though, they had the crossfire, weapons versus weapons, and the utility. Yeah, that was a very strong hold. So we see Riot go back in this direction. Upgraded pistols at best, no utility. And make the cardinal sin of pushing through a smoke. And it looks like it's going to be another clean-up operation coming in from Reason. Shanked with a little cameo, able to get one. Prezi, what can he do against all of the on-rushing players? Well, he survives longer than I expected him to, but Reason do bring it even. Only losing one player in the skirmish, and it is now 3-all.
Yeah, pretty bleak there, but 3-all from Reason Gaming, and now they're going to be looking to start taking a big advantage here. They're going to be looking to take this one ahead as they get the AWP back up on Keita there now, and Riot Gaming, they have their 5 rifles up. But is it going to be enough as they do come in ready for this push? Bomb in hand as well, going to be dropped towards that mid push, and now they are, a pretty significant stack towards that A site. The mid A main push actually is going to be coming into effect here, as well as the speed push. Prezi finds both of them. Beautiful play there from Prezi, and now he's going to be hungry for more. He can see the blood in his eyes as he goes hunting for those more frags. Flash over towards mid there, but little does he know there's only one player towards B, Keita, who's made himself aware as he frags down towards Velox there, and now it just leaves the rotates to come in here as PG will find himself the frag on towards Keita, and now it just leaves Weber standing towards CT and Baif over towards the top of A site.
And bomb does go down, so Weber might have a play on PG, potentially. He's going to sit in, and actually the Molotov flushes PG all the way out, but he's got another box to cover from, and he steps up. Now that I wasn't liking. I'm not sure that was the best play, but he gets away with it, picks up the frag on Weber, and maybe that's a bit of a sign of the confidence that these Riot Gaming boys have against Reason, which is interesting, and especially when you just lost 3 on the spin. And sometimes you might be a little more hesitant, you think let's just play it safe, but I like the way he's gone with that. Picks up 2, and Prezi goes down, so he's got information on Baith, the last player. He's going to try and save this AK if he can, and it looks like he almost definitely will be able to. But Riot Gaming go and trade back after going 3 and then 3 in the other direction. So, you know, a light reset is potentially on the cards for Riot if they end up dropping this, but it's not going to be the end of the world. And we've got a decent little buy coming in from Reason to try and counter.
Yeah, big stuff coming out from Riot though. Is, you know, I know you say that it's, you know, maybe a little bit risky to do those sort of things, maybe a little bit risky to not really, you know, put your face in the face of fear, suffice to say, towards Reason Gaming, who are, you know, surely the much more experienced team in the server right now. But on the other hand, if Riot Gaming gave them respect and played, you know, against as if they were a solid team, they would quite easily more than likely find themselves losing much more rounds. And losing 3 rounds isn't the be-all end of life. And well, the confidence worked for them. They did pick up a round, and now they're going to be looking to pick up another one as well. So if they can keep that confidence up and keep that no respect playstyle and play like Reason Gaming are just another team that they're playing against, then it will certainly work out for them so far. And it's worked for them early on in the league, and now it's going to be hopefully working for them again as Connor. He finds one on towards Snod though, so kind of eating his words just a little bit there as the first pick does roll in, and he's looking for a second as well. As you can see, Shank edging his way closer and closer to the entrance for main.
Might be tempted to have a little look in, all the utility flying over, and the squeaky does get open, so Velox is going to be leading the charge from there. You have teammates coming in from A storage, yes he does, and they're going to try and get to the back, but plenty of smoke ticking around, so Terrace can use this to their advantage, wait for that Molotov to go, and then Velox has a bit of room. Bonford dropped 2 Velox, and he's got to play on Weber, but it's Reason and Baith who are able to pick up and throwing a piece of the bomb now does get planted. PG, possible collateral there for half a second, but misses both of the opportunities, and it was one last player shanked, I think he was on the site, super low HP as well. So $800 going to the coffers for the plant, but Reason do take it straight back.
Yeah, so Reason equalising things back to 4-4, and it is a bit of a light reset coming in for Riot Gaming now, as they're almost definitely going to be cutting their losses here and moving on into the next round, letting this one bliss by as Nico around, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be fighting it nice and hard as they do have those deagles up. But, you know, I've seen some pretty impressive deagle plays today. You know, I was just watching Space Soldiers play, a solid map there, and they were getting some insane deagle shots, so hopefully Riot Gaming can channel their inner shots here, and we can see some great 1-deags come into effect. As the CT is actually Reason opting to put only 1 player towards the back of Carter, playing a very retake A setup, which could be extremely beneficial for them, as this A push is certainly going to be rolling in. Anytime now the smoke push is coming in, as Weber finds 1 on towards Snod already, and now the retake going to be coming in as Weber tries to find 1 more through the smoke. Not quite able to connect anything just yet, but he does find himself getting tagged down to just 50 HP, but the bomb is down, the bomb is ticking away, and the retake almost certainly needs to be coming in relatively soon. It's going to be a slow one at that, as Reason finds the first frag on towards PG, looking for more though, as you can see the 1 player stuck towards Forklift, and he will fall as well, and now the frags they slowly but surely fall in to the hands of Reason Gaming, and there is nothing Riot Gaming are able to do about this one, as it pretty much does them. The defuse will come in, and the face first frags will come.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that point you raised about the retake A setup and go over something that we talked about earlier on in the Masters, is that seems to be the better way to go, because then you've got the mid control, which isn't really being challenged, to be honest, by Riot at this point, but it's just easier to then go and retake or defend the A if you're coming in from highway, it seems, because if you're there on the site, you pretty much get caught into the site, and then the utility can pretty much make sure that you've got nowhere to go, and you've got to peak angles that you really don't want to be peaking, and then you're in a 50-50 at best. But you've got the retake coming in, you've got extra angles, you've got more space to work with, and it makes it a little easier as Keita able to pick up the opening frag on PG from the checkers into the B storage, and that's not helped. Riot are trying to push in that angle, and they are pretty much committed now as Snods goes down. I think he might have had an AWP in hand actually, so you know, really in a bad position. Keita catches that, perfect little nade goes in to bring him down for the 10 HP he's in, but Reason have the advantage. He might have a play, and he does make a play, brings it even. Connor trades straight back. And it is Reason with the advantage, looking to take their 6th round.
Yeah, and the big thing so far has been the trade kills that have been coming in from Reason Gaming. They've been finding them left, right, and centre, and it's paying off massively for them, as it's now just Shanked and Velox up against Baith, Connor, and Weber for them to try and make something happen. As we are in the 10th round, it's 5 rounds on the board for Reason and 4 on the board for Riot Gaming, as they get closer and closer for Reason to potentially take their 6th. But little do they know, there's only 1 player holding that A site now, and it's all going to be on Connor. He does have the AWP in hand, and he's sitting over towards quad, but a squeaky push here could prove to be extremely painful for him if he's not quite holding his angles here, as that push is getting closer and closer. Velox just checking his angles here, being a little bit cautious, which is, you know, always a good thing to be seeing here, but if they make even a slight step, then they'll give Connor an exact idea of what is going on the rotate. Will be quick and fast. The door is opened up now. Velox getting nice, and Connor almost definitely knows what's going to be going on now as the flash. The smoke's going to be rolling out now, but Connor doesn't get quite a good opportunity to be able to hold much here, but he's going to be going straight through the smoke here. Misses the first shot. It will mean that he gets tagged down a significant chunk here now as he tries to make the best of a pretty meta situation, but Weber finds one. Well, Velox comes straight back and finds two. But 5 seconds on the board, that bomb needs to go down, and it will be going down now, but Bafe pushing nice and close, going for the spray down, and he will find the frag. So a valiant attempt by Velox, but it's not enough as Bafe finds the frag.
No, exactly, and Connor, I think, did a good job from the back of sight. Missed the first shot, which was a bit of an error, but then he was able to use the box long enough to delay and allow Webb to get in, get that pick, and then it brings it back to a 1v1. Bomb had to go down, as you said, which forces you into it, and from that point, you're pretty much pinned in that angle. There's only so many places that you can be planting from, so it was easy for Bay to know exactly where he was going to be looking for, had the extra advantage, picked up the frag, and yeah, it's looking solid and all set up by Reason, winning out on the trades, just having the advantage, and we now see they've got the double AUX set up against upgraded pistols, so we'll probably end up picking this up. But one thing I'll check really quickly, so we've got Keita way back in the mid and Connor over towards the A, so no danger of these two getting swamped by on-rushing amounts of players, but you know, U30 might be an issue as Snod's able to take down Weber. Connor now with the deagle in hand, and yeah, that's part of the problem. Weber got isolated on the site. Everyone else is sort of hanging back, and he just got swarmed in by the massive on-rushing eco players just trying to do it and make up for that lack of weaponry with their sheer massive numbers.
Yeah, PG though tries to find one, finds the head of Connor with the Tech 9, and Bafe picks up another though, M4 in hand, and he will be hunting for more as Snods will fall. And now Prezzi's stuck in a pretty awkward situation as Reason will find him, but PG still left alive with the Tech 9 in hand, but Reason will pick himself up a second frag there. In fact, totaling up to a beautiful little 3k from him in that round, and more frags coming in from Connor and Bafe. So overall solid performance from Reason as they begin to edge out this CT side half.
Yeah, for sure. So this is all looking pretty good for them so far. Let's see, so 4 rounds on the spin. 4 diffuses though, so that's helped Riot Gaming with their building of the economy. I'm getting 4 plants straight. They've gone for a full buy again. They've got the AWP up, this time in the hands of PG rather than Snods. Now he's got a couple of players who might be thinking about walking in aggressive on him, which would be interesting if they go for it. Don't think Weber and Reason are going to do that just yet. Maybe going for the counter boost actually. And Weber's got himself inside the storage. It does take down PG, the AWP. So pulled up, Prezzi comes in, but Weber, nice 2k. And these boys do now drop out. Velox may be a threat up top, but Reason able to flick up and grab that frag as well. So this is going to be a very comfortable round for him again, you would suggest. 5v2.
Yeah, now it's looking pretty solid. Like Reason are going to be picking up their 8th round on the board. Just Shanked and Snods left to try and disrupt this one from happening. And they do have the bomb in hand, but they're in a pretty tough situation as you do see both CTU players. I think it's Keita actually sitting over towards that B site nice and comfortably alongside Bafe. And, well, they're going to be holding that site nice and well. And it doesn't really give Shanked and Snods an opportunity to find the entry picks here. And unless they hit their shots perfectly, Keita will more than likely be able to find those frags nice and easily with their AWP in hand in that headshot position that he's so comfortably sitting on. But smoke's coming out now. CT going to find itself smoke. Heaven going to find itself smollied off. Once again, has no effect at all. But they do push onto that side now. The spray downs do come in. And Snods actually burns in the fire there eventually. So some beautiful play there. And Shank finds himself a pick. So they do actually manage to take that site. But the retake is now going to be coming in thick and fast. As Reason, Connor, and Weber get themselves nice and ready to go for this. The Molotov's coming out though, burning them off the back of sight, and now the HP is not in a solid situation. Shanked on 14, Snods tagged down to 41, he will fall to the hands of Reason before Connor finds Shanked with the deagle. And that is that done and dusted. Reason going to be on the defuse there, and that'll be the 8th round on the board for Reason Gaming.
It will be, yeah, but it's also the 5th round on the board that Riot have managed to get the plant in as the pause does get called for, so we'll see how long this happens to be. I think that's a bit of an interesting one that we can pick up on, is they're managing to get into these sites, but it seems to be they're getting in more because Reason are allowing them to get the site control and then they're retaking, as we're seeing over towards the A site, or it's because Reason have been making the early picks, making the trades, it's all going in their favour, and then they've just got the numbers advantage, so a retake is definitely going to happen, and they're quite happy to let that go. We'll see, it's going to be another full buy coming in from Riot Gaming, but they can't make it pay, as against the rifles, against the AWPs, etc., it's all going in the way of Reason. They've got the numbers advantage, they've got the financial advantage, they've got everything right now.
Yeah, and we are seeing what is a fairly solid attack pause coming in there. I believe it is potentially who actually called the pause. Let's see, Prezi actually did call the pause there, so it could potentially be attack pause coming in for Riot Gaming. It's going to be talking it through a little bit. The upset potential is certainly there. They have actually managed to pick up 4 rounds on the board, and 4 versus 8 isn't even half bad. If they could potentially find the last 3 and make this back to an 8-7 even, it's not even that bad of a half, and even then, their CT side could be strong, and they could still overcome the might of Reason Gaming so far, but certainly not worth knocking the fact that Reason Gaming have played this one pretty well so far as well, and they have actually made some solid counterplays onto the way Riot Gaming are playing, and they're picking up the rounds, and that's ultimately what counts. If you pick up those rounds and you play some good CS, you will eventually win the game. That's just kind of how it is. There's some solid play from both teams overall so far.
Yeah, it's been good. And I think that's a good point that you make in terms of if another couple of rounds go on the board for Riot, then we're seeing them losing 6 consecutive. Does it matter all that much if they're taking 6-7 into their CT side? Well, no, almost definitely not. It's a good score on Cash. If it plays that way, where it's the CTs that have the advantage, it's going to be interesting to see what does come off. I know that we were watching Reason last week, and Connor had an absolute shocker, didn't he, in the first map, and then brought it right back. But was that on... I think they started T-side on that first. So I go back over a week ago. Not going to happen. But you never know. You might be able to catch Reason napping. They might not be that solid on their T-side here. And this could be enough rounds, potentially.
Yeah, well, that is going to be the big question that's left to be answered now as rounds do begin to unfold again. The unpause has come in and things that slowly start to kick off as you can actually see a Shroud boost coming in from the CT side there. They're getting themselves nice and comfortable. And Keaton, on the other hand, got a beautiful little one-way in towards Toxic there, so just making sure that no one's going to be pushing into that one. But unfortunately for him, he quite let Snods through, so Snods is going to be nice and comfy there, and Shank now going to be sitting up towards Boost as well, so maybe seeing if he can find a frag on towards Reason, who's sitting nice and close.
Yeah, probably not unless he pushes it, and I'm guessing Reason's going to be sort of alert to that, you would think. Just sort of looking towards the door. He's got Baith actually there to cover if anyone does go and step. So they've got a nice lockdown on this mid position, actually, if anyone pushes. It's going to be costly. Baith does actually get one, but Reason trades back, and Weber is able to get developed as well. Shank does go through, so it's a trade 2-2 for both of these teams. Keita and Connor with the AWPs. So going to be on to play from range. Snods has got one as well, so if he can get a pick on one of these sites, then maybe it's going to open things up. Who knows, but I'm just going to play an AWP per site, 30 seconds left to go. And just try and delay. Slow up as much as possible. Not much utility in the hands of Keita, but Connor's got a molly, a nade, and a flash. So it's going to be delay as much as you can. Call in where it's coming from, and the calls will now be coming in. That is going to be a B push, and the rotate's going to come in. It's all going to come down to this. 15 seconds. Connor gets the first pick. And, oh, nice work from the two AWPers. Get the crossfire going, and they pretty much went one at a time there, Riot Gaming, unfortunately, and don't manage to pick it up. No bomb plant for them either. Lost bonus is going to help them out. They can buy one more time, but they do not have an AWP, and I think that might be the reason they're going for upgraded pistols and put the best buy together they can for the last one. Try and make it 10-5.
Yeah, and that's that one done and dusted, and certainly going to be interesting to see how they can do with these pistols in hand. A couple of deagles, a couple of Tech 9s to try and make do. Shank actually opting to get himself a Molotov up there, and a couple of flashes, 3 flashes actually on the side of Riot Gaming. So, one flash potentially could be extremely strong here. They could blind the entirety of their site out, but what are we seeing here? We're seeing a retake A setup, and it's going to prove to be extremely beneficial when this A push comes in. But the flashes already rolling in, but now it's just free range shooting. Chicken farm there, tagging away. As Connor finds one, Weber finds one, Reason finds one as well. And now Snods is certainly looking like he's going to be falling to the hands of Connor as well. As Connor pushes up close and personal and finds himself a frag with the deagle.
Yeah, so nice and quick and easy and crisp from the Reason Gaming boys. Eco bash though, so kind of expected. We've got the full buy coming in. And Snods, yeah, oh, great, he's got himself an AK as well. Full armor all round, utility all round. Same can be said for the Reason guys, double AWP, going for Connor and Keita. Neither one of those two have been under any real threat, I would suggest, so I was going to stick with that and play a site each and do the best they can. Got Weber in on the rotate on the mid, and Reason haven't really let that mid area slip too much. It's been right, getting straight into the site, committing. There we go. Weber proves the point straight away with a double frag, taking down Shank and PG, who again go one at a time at him and just let him pick him off. Baith with a frag on Velox as well, and we are almost definitely going to be seeing an 11-4 unless Prezi wants to pull off a 5k clutch here.
Yeah, it's a, it's always a potential factor, but it's Prezi. I feel like, the guy's been playing well, but he's not been playing that well, and that is going to be the final blow delivered by Weber, as Reason Gaming, they storm ahead and they take an 11-4 half, and it's been pretty solid performance from them so far, but now the question remains, will Reason Gaming be awake on their T side, or will they fall asleep and allow Riot Gaming to bring this one back bit by bit, and that's really what I want to know is, will they be solid on it all? Will they even be able to claim this pistol round as they do start, coming in with those biases and armor coming up on 3 of their players, potentially even their 4th, as we see a smoke and a flash comes in on Weber as well, and it is the 4-man armor buy, so we're definitely going to be seeing something quick and fast, and more than likely a CT smoke and a flash towards B site is going to be what is going to be delivered, as we do see those 2 CTE players, Velox and Prezi, opting towards holding that B site, and they know the push is going to be coming in, the flash already coming in as well. Now Velox, he has to tag away as they have to hold this one, but Velox finds himself too. Prezi finds another one as well, and absolutely beautiful round there from Velox as he picks himself up for 4K as Prezi mops it up with one more frag to finish it off. An absolute amazing round coming out from Riot Gaming, and especially Velox there.
Well, yeah, that was kind of crazy. And that's the one thing that you do have to do with USPs up close, getting rushed by the Glocks, who are just going to be hammering bullets at you left, right, and centre, is you've got to make your headshots. And that's exactly what they did. They're all super on point, the Riot boys. And having gone down in the fashion that they did, you might be thinking that that wasn't the case. But, really crisp stuff from them. And the amount of times you've seen that go in the complete opposite direction, you go for the headshots, you miss a couple, you've got players swarming all around you, and Velox, he's got 2, Prezi ends up picking one up as well with the and there's 2 frags with the that's going to help him. He gets the 200% cash bonus for using that weapon. Velox cleans up with his 3rd of the round, and Velox now starting to warm up a little bit. He was quite slow to get off the mark on their T side. Now that's that 5 kills in the space of 2 rounds already he's got.
Yeah, we were talking about this one last week, and I kind of, if I recall correctly, Velox was one of those players who I kind of looked at as a little bit of an underdog, but he's been playing consistently well, and he might not have the best KDs, but the impact frags he gets they're insane. And when you look at players like Snods, on the other hand, who are struggling to pick up 3 frags, then, it's there's a big factor at the end of the day. You see Snods 3 and 13, and then you see Velox, the nearest person to him, 11 and 14, and there is a big factor in that, and Snods, on the other hand, not been delivering the most impact frags in the game, so it's a little bit disappointing from him. Hopefully he steps up now as well, as we can see him actually tagging down in towards Squeaky there, and potentially an opportunity for him to pick himself up some frags here, as Reason, they've got their pistols in hand, the push is going to be coming in. Shank finds himself 1, PG another as well. Snods does pick up a frag on towards Weber, but not before Reason takes the head clean off of Snods with that Glock in hand.
Snods did this last week as well. He had a super slow start, and then he really began to get into it as the game went on, so maybe just a little slower to warm up. We've all been there where we play 4 games, still don't feel warmed up, and then you get there around about midnight. Now hopefully it's not going to be that, because it's going to be a long old night for him otherwise. Never mind, let's see, so Shank picks up a frag on Reason, Baith on 4 HP with the bomb up in hand, and he's got Shanks and PG are both super soft on 14 and 20 points of health each. If one of them decides they want to get super aggro and push, but I'm sure they won't, it's going to play passive.
Yeah, he's just left on 4 HP at the end of the day, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty uncomfortable one as they try and toy around with the door, but Shanked, he delivers the final killing blow, and that is that done and dusted, and it's looking pretty bleak so far, and what Riot Gaming are doing, the way they are playing is fairly solid, in fact, and I kind of like what they're doing. They're playing fairly, sitting it back and just playing those close angles, Velox is actually, a prime example of what you do with, what you do with the sidearm is you take, slowly but surely, and you tap away, and it's something that a lot of people don't get the grasp of, fairly early on. Like, back when I used to play, for example, I was pretty crap, let's not gonna lie here, but, I was taught quite a lot, I think it was Ducky helping me out, trying to make me tap quite a bit, and a lot of players don't get used to that, and you still don't see it happen nowadays, as Velox tries to keep the dream alive as he finds himself a frag on towards Connor there as well.
Yeah, exactly right. You'd imagine these guys are going to be practicing, the amount of deathmatch that players end up working through these days, just spamming away, clicking, finding those heads, 2-shot, 3-shot bursts, and very short sprays to be accurate, then, that's the way that these things go, and you see people putting in, 120, 130 hours a week by the time you work out the deathmatch and playing matches, etc. And that's kind of the point that you have to get anywhere now in CS, even at the UK level. We haven't really made it into the upper echelons of Europe yet, but give it time. And with competitions like this, like the UK Masters, it's the start of things, and hopefully we can get the participation up. And we've seen some great action from these guys, and you look at Riot Gaming, for example. no real household names here, but you think about the difficulty of the qualification route to get to this point. You know, we've got some very talented players here that can deliver.
Yeah, Snod's finding himself 2 frags in fact with the AWP, looking for a third as well, but Bafe picks it straight back up on towards Snods, and he's in a pretty uncomfortable one though, a 1v3, but he does pick up the first on towards PG, and both players now going to be pushing in from that CT position. And well, Bafe, if they do both push him from one, then he's in a good one, as he does miss an interesting shot there. In fact, you wouldn't be expecting you to be missed those, this point blank not moving shots with the AWP, but doesn't quite connect it in the end, and now he's still in a 1v2. HB not quite on his side here, he's only on 17, but Shank will be pushing him nice and close here, and the spray down comes into effect, and he will fall to the hands of Shank, and the defuse will swiftly follow, and Riot Gaming begin to edge out just another round and begin to slowly bring it back. And well, they've been pretty strong about this so far. They've not actually dropped a single round here so far to the hands of Reason on this CT side, and they've played it fairly well, an absolute dominating pistol round, and from that, this dominating CT side has followed.
Yeah, it's been going well. I don't know if there's some kind of bug here of Shanks just trolling or what the deal is, but he was having some real problems with that defuse. But yeah, as you say, 4 rounds have gone very quickly in the direction of Riot Gaming. And it's still going to come down to what the plan is for them going forward now. Plenty of money on the Riot Gaming side. Not so much for Reason Gaming. They're going for a bit of a scrubby little buy here. Got full head armour. And a couple of players lacking all utility, so I'll see if that will be telling.
Yeah, that's going to be the big factor so far, but the push already certainly going to get closer and closer to coming in now as the T's get themselves nice and spread out, and Reason certainly being a little bit sleepy. You know, not what we quite wanted to see, but what we almost predicted at the end of that first half, that Riot Gaming would be able to bring it back, as you know, they've certainly snuck in a couple of maps before, and you know, they've had a success in this similar format before where they've not had the best T side in the world, but their CT side has been rather on point. And now Reason Gaming, they have to really step things up a little bit if they don't want to let Riot Gaming equalise this out and potentially run away with it.
Well, anything's possible at this point. Finally in the balance, the way things are looking for this game is all I can really suggest. For Riot, if they end up dropping this round, for example, they've still got enough cash to be buying again and try and reset the money for Reason Gaming. So all this still to play out, and all these little intricacies that go along with a game of Counter-Strike, we're going to see those playing out probably in the next 10 minutes or so, as PG makes the opening pick on Keita, and he's probably got the information that this is going to be B, so I bet there's going to be some kind of rotate coming in behind these Reason boys, and they're going to be feeling the pressure if they don't move fast, and they are trying. Baith gets one, Prezi at the back of sight, just needs to stay in and be patient. They know where PG is, but he picks up a second with the AWP, and he gets the crosser. I don't know how, he must have got that through the wall or something, because he thought it was late, but he does pick it up, and now Connor, well, he's going for it, but maybe wants to think about the save, just takes down PG's AWP, which they'll no doubt have time to go and recover. And it's 11-9, so the deficit squeezed down to 2 now.
Yeah, and once again, I feel like, you know, Riot Gaming are playing well, and you know, there's a massive potential for them to take this one. But still, I don't want to rail on Snods, but he picked up 3 frags in the first half and only 3 in the second half now. So I'm hoping to see he can bring a bigger impact to the table here, and we can start to see Riot Gaming rush this one straight to an equalizer and take this one home, because right now my heart is set towards Riot Gaming. They have the passion and they have the love for wanting to win this map. And you know what, I feel like they can potentially do this, and this is their map picks. They're going to have the practice on it, and not saying Reason won't. You know, we were talking about how much practice both teams are going to have to be putting in to make this work, especially being in this league. But definitely looking pretty strong from Riot Gaming so far.
As Connor might have a play with the CZ from range against Shanked. That's a ballsy move to go for that, but he's tried it anyway. And he gets dented down to 62 points of health for his troubles. Now, going to make a play though, he's got Shanked. Now, he's kind of got his number on his position, but with that weapon in hand, you're not going to do too much. There was a phase, wasn't it, when the CZ was considered an underrated weapon, and you know, you had people that were spamming it and getting kills from range, etc. But I think it's changed a bit. PG, nice work, spins around, takes down Keita. Shanked, keeps on shooting, takes PG clean out of it after he's dealt with the damage from Highway, and that could be costly. It probably won't be by the looks of things, but they are now stacking up onto B, where there are 2 players at the back looking solid. So this is going to be another Riot Gaming hold, but you know, on another day, that TK could have been costly, and it was just a silly situation. But Velox with a triple kill, and one other coming in from Prezi, I think it was. And that is now 10-11. Riot Gaming 1 away from bringing it even.
And you know what, just to kind of break the rhythm just a little bit here, if someone's not odd-shotting some of these frags that Velox is getting, I'm going to be disappointed, as I'm certainly going to be wanting to rewatch some of these, as he has pulled in some beautiful frags, some beautiful clips there, and you can practically make a frag clip just from Riot Gaming all alone in this match, and it's just been really good from them stuff so far. But things kicking off now as Riot Gaming fight to equalise this one out, and they're getting themselves nice and comfortable with those holds, just putting their two players over towards that A site again, making sure that they put some emphasis on holding that site. And it's the same thing really. It's just a standard 2-1-2 setup with PG just holding nice and mid in with the AWP in hand. And we do see a double AWP actually coming out. Snod's going to be trying to make a bit of an impact with that AWP over towards that A site as well, as he's sitting over towards quad. And the lurk actually coming in from Reason, as they do put one player, Connor, over towards Squeaky, but he's going to be bringing his weight right back now as he goes to grab that bomb. And Reason, they need to start deciding what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, they sure do. A minute left to go on the clock, so still got a bit of time. And Keita, they're going to be looking to make some kind of pick here. He's the boost man. Currently rooted to the bottom of the scoreboard. Going to be looking to try and catch up as soon as he can and try and bring himself on par. And to be honest, across the board for both of these teams, aside from one player on each side that's lagging behind a bit, they are fragging pretty evenly, pretty consistently, and everyone's kind of involved in the action in one way or another, which is nice to see. The push now coming in, flashes, and utility both gets one, and that's Prezi and Velox with frags before Prezi and Velox both go down. So this is the first time really where Reason have managed to properly dent the defences and get themselves onto the site. So chance for a plant, and there's Keita going down to PG with the AWP up top, and PG's doing some damage. They're trying the same thing again, Baith now trying to get across to the bomb, and PG isn't able to pick up the frag this time. He's getting caught by the utility coming in from Weber. He's still got a flash left to go, and Weber, oh! Through the wall, down to 2 points of health. Wow.
Yeah, this is going to be devastating, and it looks like they're ready and waiting to find that frag, as well as Shanked is going to be sitting there, and he knows that he's 2 HP, he's full blind now. The push comes out, Faith trying to make something happen. He does find one frag eventually, but Shanked is there to find him, and now we're in a one-on-one. PG with the AWP in hand, up against Weber, 2 HP, and the bomb is not planted for him, but PG has now picked himself up a kit, so it comes down to time. The sidearm is out, and the tags do come in, and there really is nothing Weber can do in that situation. Only 2 HP, thanks to actually insane wallbang coming in through Checkers there, and that is that done. Riot Gaming, they will be bringing it right back to a pretty impressive scoreline of 11-11, and this is where Riot now really start to fight this one nice and hard. But Reason, they can still buy up here, they can still opt to go in with these rifles if they so choose, as to do a 5k up on every single player, and they can in fact even get an AWP up thanks to Baith if they so choose.
Yeah, so making full use of loss bonus, that is, wow, okay, that's a interesting stat. 7 rounds on the bounce for Riot Gaming to bring themselves even. So nice work from those boys. From that last round was very narrow margins. Baith, if he'd made his first kill just a little bit quicker, it would have given him the opportunity to then defend the other 2 players that swarmed into the site. Picked up one more with Weber there bolstering, then it could have been a round. And again, Weber maybe needed to buy another 3-4 seconds, and then that would have been enough to make sure that the defuse couldn't have come in. So very small margins have stopped Reason Gaming from getting their first round on the board. But by the same token, Riot had to stack loads of plants. Snods with the AWP has got 2 frags already, and that's Connor and I think it was Keita that went down. Reason's also been dropped, so 4v2. Riot Gaming looking to take the lead as Velox gets the frag on Baith, leaving Weber last man standing. He's got an AWP, I think. Well, he's throwing all his utility out, but I'm guessing he's going to want to save this, is he?
Yeah, that is the potential thing, but he's actually going to be going for it as he does just push out of door there, try to make something happen there, but he is met with PG hand in hand with the AWP there and falls to his death, and that's now Riot Gaming taking the lead by 1 round, and they're going to be looking to extend this one. As Reason Gaming, they have to go for whatever they've got left here. The force up is going to be coming in, and we're not going to be seeing too many rifles come out. Instead, we're going to be seeing 3 rifles and 2 Tech 9s come out on the board for Reason, up against Riot Gaming, who are more than comfortable with their economy at this point. They've actually got a double AWP setup coming out on PG and Snods, and they've got those 3 strong M4s on Shanked, Prezi, and PG, and they're going to be pretty happy about that one, as things do begin to get just a little bit more real and humble for the Reason side, as they need to start realizing that potentially they could actually drop a map here.
Yeah, they sure could. I think maybe the save AWP would have been a half decent play last time out, and Snods, he's now starting to warm up. He's got a frag, and so is Shanked. So pretty solid. Weber's going to get the plant down. He has to extinguish the flames with a smoke first before he can even think about the plant, and Reason, nice work with the pick and he's got his second as well, taking down Prezi. So maybe this is the turnaround. Maybe Reason want to bring themselves back onto parity here with this, but they still need to think about getting this plant down. So Weber's got that. We're going to drop it onto the site, and now does drop it onto the site. Catches another Molotov, and he's out there. PG takes down Reason in the meantime, so Riot are going to be thinking maybe they can go for this. They've got to be tempted, all stacking up from the same angle, so maybe it's going to be tough. Flash comes in, that's behind everyone. Keita needs to clean up, but he doesn't, and he has to drop off. So it's going to be tense. Velox takes down Weber. Keita last man standing. They are pushing him. They've got the information. Velox grabs him as well, and the defuse coming in. So Riot, whew, from the jaws of defeat, they claim victory in that round, and they take a 13-11 lead into this first map.
Yeah, some beautiful play coming out from Riot Gaming, and so far again, Reason just struggling to make anything happen at all. I don't think they've even picked up a single round on this second half so far, proving just how weak their T side is. And now hopefully we're going to be seeing attack pause come into effect, which we are going to be seeing as Keita has called the attack pause, and now Reason Gaming starting just to get that humble realization that, guys, this is actually happening. Riot Gaming are about to upset us with only 3 rounds left for them to claim. It's looking pretty brutal for them so far, as they've not picked up a single round in the second half, and well, they really need to do something different. And I guess this does lead us nicely onto the question of Frosty. If you were the coaching Reason Gaming right now, what would you say to them?
Oh, well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? Because it's a little difficult to try and get to the bottom of what they can do. I mean, they're just getting locked down on these sites. Trying to think what I would call in a situation like this. I mean, to be honest, from a coaching or from an in-game leader perspective, by the time I've got to this point, I'm just a little bit lost, and I'll be thinking, okay, how do we play this? The one thing I'd like to see them try and do, which I don't think they've used enough yet, is to get hold of that mid control. We talked about what difference it can make when you're going in and opens up so many more angles. They've got, let's see, who have they got in their team? Well, they've got players that can get the AWP. I mean, Connor and Keita are both made use of that. So maybe their thought, a little bit later, or a little bit late in the game now, but it could have been, get an AWP up, get the mid control, try and work a pick somewhere, or just try and pin them into a site somewhere, probably over towards the A. So that would have been my call probably about 5 rounds ago, if not the basis for how we're going to approach our T side in general. Now, the economy's a little bit on the tight side. I guess you could see Weber get up an AWP, and they could still go for that.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing, and, well, will they be opting to choose for that? We'll be finding out soon, as this attack pause will shortly be coming to an end. I believe they only have 2 minutes on the board. I might get corrected on that, but I'm pretty sure it is just a 2-minute attack pause. I think you only get 1 as well per half, off the top of my head anyway. But it seems Keita is ready and waiting to go now, and the unpause will be coming in from Reason, and hopefully we can see something special here, and the first round coming off. And it's nice to see Riot actually going in. I'm not sure if sarcasm or just generally being sportsmanlike, as Snods does give out a cheeky good luck. And if it is, I hope it is honest. I hope it's not sarcastic, because sportsmanship is really important when it comes down to UKCS. If we don't have any sportsmanship, we won't have a scene much longer, as there'll just be too much flame and toxicity. And, well, to be blunt, no one will invest in us in a way that we've seen our sponsors such as Plantronics and UK Masters do, for example. But the unpause coming in now, and the pressure is on for Reason as they look to pick up their first round of the second half.
That's going to be their plan. Let's see what the setup is going to be. It looks like, I thought they were going to commit somewhere pretty quickly there, but they've now decided against it. Getting completely flashed out. And here we go. I think they might be listening to the cast, because they've gone for the mid control. Let's see what they can do with it, though. Both is going to be facing first from Highway. You can see already they might have the opportunity to pin them into the site, but hasn't worked out. And with PG instead picking up the frag, and from that point, they really needed the pincer movement. Players coming in from the A storage, throwing in utility, and they haven't had that. So now they find themselves in this really awkward situation of where do they go from here. Now the pincer does get set up with Weber over towards the door. He's going to make as much noise as he can. Keita might now have the frag, and Shanks is taken down in the end on the trade, probably with some good communication from Keita, you would assume. Reason has a chance to make Snods from behind, but instead doesn't, and Weber trades it straight back. So it's 2 versus 2, bomb planted on the back. Now we've seen Reason get in this position a couple of times before, haven't managed to hold it though, so maybe this is their time, and what a time to do it, coming off the back of the timeout.
Yeah, so far so good now that a bomb is slowly ticking down though, and they don't have much time to play with here as now Velox finds himself one, looking for a second as Prezi picks up another frag as well, and Reason Gaming not able to pick up their first round of the second half. The defuse is in fact going to be coming in there as Velox comes in big once again for his team. Prezi finds another frag as well, and basically a teammates coming out from Riot Gaming as every single one of them steps up to find themselves some dearly needed frags, and now 14 rounds on the board for Riot Gaming. And Reason, they're going to be feeling a little bit sour as that tack force also definitely didn't work out in their favour that time around.
No, it sure didn't. You know, they tried something a little different though, and it's managed to open them up a position into the side. But this can't hold the thing. The retakes are far too comfortable the few times that Riot have needed to make one. I mean, how many retakes have they actually needed to make? 4 out of 8. Actually, 4 out of 9. And there's another fairly scary stat. It's been now, let's see, 4, 5, 10 rounds on the bounce for Riot Gaming. Wow. And that is not bad from coming in 11-4 against. So Velox makes the only frag. This is comfortable. Actually, maybe not. I was going to say this is looking too comfortable, but don't count your chickens, as Weber now trying to trade. And you know, it seems like Weber's in there picking up the frags, but you know, they're just not doing quite enough until maybe now. 2 versus 2, Shanked and Snods. Molotov's going to come in, and maybe that's going to upset the plant, but no, it actually just misses Weber. And he steps into it now, in fact, nowhere he can really go. Might want to think about readjusting. Baith as well, down on the floor. So these two are in positions where they can get found pretty easily. Shank gets the one, so it's Weber left to find. Will be called away on the back of sight, and Snods is going to go for this. I think the cash is fine. He's going to take a bit of individual brilliance from Weber. 4K picking it up, and that is Reason's first round of this second half. First round in 11 rounds of Counter-Strike. Wow.
An absolute dominating performance there coming out from Weber. Really, as you say, a bit of individual brilliance was really the key phrase there that comes to mind, as you say, is just absolute dominance coming from Weber. And now Reason Gaming finally managed to pick up a round on the second half. Absolutely brutal by them so far. But now Shank looking, Rob said it already, as Weber picks up another frag as well, looking for the second. But he's not going to find it. Oh wait, he will, as Snoz isn't quite able to connect that one either. And now Riot Gaming starting just to give away a couple of quick and simple frags now, as what is a pretty risky investment from them from a money point of view. And they're throwing away some fairly easy frags as they're already left in a 3v5 now. And PG, Velox and Prezi, they have to start making something happen here if they want to keep the dream alive, as Weber still sitting in A main ready and waiting for a push to come in.
Yeah, and I think quite right for Reason, not keeping their foot on the gas straight away. They've still got a lot of time to work with. You know, you might see a less well-drilled team maybe push someone out of a position and just try and get aggro and over-rotate. You've got to kind of wait for that because it can catch you by surprise if you're not careful, but they're now making a set push on to B with a few utility in there to cut off the rotate. The Connor's just hanging around over towards the A site, so there are actually a fair few Reason players that are able to get in from behind as well. 2 players going to be moving in the other direction, so we shall see. And I think actually Riot might be tempted to save here, and that's exactly what they are doing. I think Connor was in a position from Squeaky where he could have done some damage, but now thinking he wants to get across and make sure the retake doesn't happen. You know, he's left that position now, and if he does go in and peek in through Squeaky, he's going to be sort of second to the punch as such, and might be able to, well, he might be losing his life here.
Yeah, lots of questions to be asked, but the bomb is going to be ticking away, and if they can save this, then this will be pretty good for them so far. But Connor's getting up close and personal with Prezi, doesn't check his corners, and that all means Prezi will find himself a frag. And the money is certainly not good for either side right now, but Reason pick up their 13th round on the board, and things get closer and closer to the inevitable end of this map, or even potential overtime. As right now, they're going to be buying up once again here, doing with what they've got anyhow. They've got an M4, or 2 M4s in fact, and an AWP to try and make do, and a couple of CZs, some pistols, which they're going to be saving the money they've got. And meanwhile, for Reason on the other hand, they're actually on a relatively good one, 3 rifles, or 4 if you include the Galil, and an AWP up on Keita as well. So I have a feeling this round is going to come down to some pretty big individual plays from both sides, no matter which side will swing the balance of this one. As Reason, they fight to pick up the 14th round and equalize it, as Riot Gaming fight to pick up their match point.
Going to try and really close encounter here. You maybe wouldn't have expected it on paper, but and what does that matter? It's all about what happens in the server, and they're now going for this A. Now, they've got in here a few times before, but they've not managed to lock it down, and the retake's coming. Connor in a bit of trouble, and Riot Gaming have facing a little more than I thought they would, but they're using the smoke. Good cover. Velox gets one on the side. Connor with the spray and then gets shanked as well. And Snods, and oh, guys, I feel like this was opportunity missed. They kind of went in one at a time and just got sprayed down by these Reason players from round about the site. The times they've retaken it, they've gone in from a couple of angles and they've caused enough distractions to make it possible and given themselves those angles, but not that time. They just went barreling all in. And no real rhyme or reason to their attempted retake, and it's gone in the favour of Reason. So 14 all, and I'm guessing with this save coming in, that's skewed the money a little bit as PG gets one.
Yeah, the frag's certainly going to be rolling in though at this attempted save. You know, all you can see all the T's, Connor and everyone wrapping in from behind. So it's going to be a pretty hard one for Prezi and PG to get out of this one alive, as they are getting nice and close to them now. And Reason will actually find the head of Prezi, but it looks like PG will be able to get away with that AWP. So, you know, overall solid as Reason bring it back to 14-14 and things get closer and closer. But what's important to note for Riot is that was technically a bit of a save from them. So they actually have 4K on pretty much every player, and they can go straight and comfortable into another full buy. And the same thing for Reason, really. So it's a bit of a rematch here for Riot, as they can now do things once again with a double up setup out on PG and Snods, and they're back to their usual setup. But they have to hold here, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a pretty amazing B push come to effect now as the T's get themselves nice and comfortable. The flashes coming out, but will Velox be able to go big? Will they be able to hold this one, or will the push come in so far? And Baith, he actually finds the big one towards Prezi, and now Velox has to go big here as he finds the first, looks for the second. He will find it. Will he be able to find the third though? It doesn't seem so. He doesn't have enough left in his gun as Keita finds him with the Tech 9, but it does bring it back to a 3v3. And now we're going to be looking for an AWP pick that will come in from PG, but he can't burn that fire as he only has 2 HP left. With Collar now going to be getting that bomb down on towards site, and the advantage does fall somewhat to the right gaming side.
Look at Weber, look at his position. He's got a potential play, and he's going to wait as long as it takes, I think. Oh, now he looks. Oh, wow. Just waiting for the eternity to come in. Just making sure the push can come up top. PG's in some serious trouble on his 2 points of health. He's got fear nades, but there aren't any, and it's just Weber against 2. And maybe he's overcommitted. Yes, he has. And the tracer fire through the smoke gives away his position. If Snod's called in already, they're already looking in his direction, and they've thrown that away. I mean, Riot were there for the taking, and they've thrown it away.
They might have thrown it away, but Riot Gaming are going to be cheering about that one, and I can hear the enthusiasm from here now as they have, you know, all the money they need to go straight back into this one. Just a little bit aside from Prezi, who's struggling with that 5-7, but they're going to be pretty happy now as things are about to get a little bit real for Reason Gaming. Will we be going to overtime, or will Riot Gaming be fighting this one back? And things are going to get, you know, pretty epic so far, as now we're back again with a double up setup on Snods and PG, and really looking forward to seeing how this one unfolds.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's all over. Early prediction. As you think, starts getting very tense against a team like Reason Gaming. Some of the players that have got in there, you might find that your mouse hand cramps up a little bit and you're not quite free-flowing. And I was thinking that B push might have been it. What happens? Oh, Velox just goes and picks up a couple of frags. It's well and truly on point, but Baith is able to find Velox in the boxes behind Checkers. Prezi trades straight back, and now it's Prezi on the site, and he peeks out, and he does take down Connor. And look at this now, those flashes are going to slow down any more pushes into the site. They've slowed it up. Snods up top, Shank with a frag as well, and it's in favour of Riot. Oh wow, no, it trades straight back. Shank gets caught in Checkers. PG with the frag on Baith. 2v1, down to Weber again. Who else? Bomb down, minute left to go, and they've got to go and find him. I think PG's looking at this angle. I don't think there's anywhere that Weber can go.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Weber now to try and find this 1v2, otherwise Riot Gaming will be storming ahead and taking this map for the ripe. And well, Weber, what is he going to be able to do here? 40 seconds on the board, he does have the bomb, and he can choose between either going towards that B site, or going out through mid, or even the long way back through T and get himself off towards the A site.
And these boys haven't got on the move yet. You might be thinking, what's the deal? And, you know, to be honest, we've seen it a few times as well, where a player will just sit and wait and make it look like he's gone to the other site. The other two players have gone and rotated over there, both of them, and it's left it completely open. So I can kind of see why they're going for it. But now they must be thinking 10 seconds left. Weber's got to have got on his bike and gone the other way. So, guys, please, move.
Yeah, he's going to get the plant, but he still has to make a 1v2, and he's still, you know, this could really be over if PG and Snods just trade here, and that's going to be the biggest factor so far. If they find their trades, then it'll be pretty solid so far, but it is 2 AWPs up against 1 rifle here, so they're going to have to play nice and close together, and so far it seems PG actually going to be running nice on his own. That's, you know, it's a pretty worrying thought so far as Snods gets himself up towards heaven as well, and they're going to be clearing out sight and making sure that no one is there as well. We'll get an idea of where PG is going to be. The smoke does come down as well now, so now he's going to be completely locked off, but that defuse needs to come in relatively quickly as the Tracer Fire comes in now, and he does get tagged down by PG through the smoke, and it is done. It is over. Riot Gaming will upset Reason Gaming, and they will take that map win at 16-14.
Yeah, GGs do get exchanged, and really good stuff coming in there. I was thinking I would have liked them to have had the information on where Webber was going to be because they had to hunt him down, but in fact, they kind of knew. Smoke went down, Tracer Fire gave him away in his position, and that was an easy, well, not easy, but all things considered, in a tense 2v1, you wouldn't mind them going quite as smoothly as that one did. And really good stuff from Riot Gaming. They've nicked another map off of a fairly big name team, which